Pay attention, class. It's the Rock Professor here with another look at the events.
What happened there?
The Rock Professor wanted to join us.
How the hell did he jump into this bloody midweek? Well, it's not midweek. This end of week show. Oh my gosh, we're getting infiltrated. TikTok, it's time to rock, and Andrew's pressing wrong buttons. He hasn't done this show for a couple of days, and what does this button do? what does this do? Oh, it does that. How's it going, brother?
Yeah, good. And yourself?
Oh my gosh, good to see you. Good to see you. Look, I know that you've been under the pump where you guys are, so I'll give you an opportunity, bro, to talk about that. You can go into as much depth and detail as you want, obviously, but it's always a pleasure hanging out with the cool cats. The Australians and the New Zealanders are taking over.
The rat bags.
The rat bags.
The rat bags are back.
Yeah. No, bro, it's good to see you. We've got a couple of things that obviously we want to talk about. We've got a video that Brad did, jeepers, a couple of weeks ago now?
Close to 2 weeks, yeah. I think we've been so busy we haven't sort of done much with it yet.
Yeah. We were going to do it on one show, and then we decided, no, we were going to do it on another show because of Charlie passing, and we did a couple of shows around Charlie Watts, and we thought that we'd keep this video specifically for something that we would do during the week. So, because what we try and do, guys, is we try not to be all over the place with our shows. We try and keep them focused and around the subject.
I mean, look, we didn't want to throw stuff in the middle of a Charlie Watts special, you know what I mean, that's not really relevant. And, you know, because we want people to actually, you know, in history, look back at that particular episode and it be relevant to, say, Charlie Watts instead of throwing in something to do with Fender Stratocasters and stuff like that in the middle of it.
Yeah. Look, and that's always a good thing, but I'm particularly looking forward to hanging out with Brad for an hour and a bit, him obviously with all the cats in the chat, and I'm sure Brad's got the chat up, so he's going to go through and do the roll call. And if you guys have any questions in relation to the topic that we're going to talk about, please fire them into the chat. We'll try and get to them. I caught up with Carl during the week, and you guys might know who Carl is. We were lucky to have Carl on a couple of shows with us last week. He's our resident Rolling Stones nut, and he's the guy that has like hoodies over his face, and you know, and he goes into the kitchen, and he's the guy that like cooks a meal while he's doing a show with us, and you know, he's doing Carl things. But anyway, seriously, it was good catching up with Carl because I value his opinion, bro, and I'm going to say a couple of things live that he said, and it means a lot to me, and hopefully it's going to mean a lot to Brad too. So, you know, and obviously everyone else in the chat that supports the channel by hitting the likes, subscribing to the channel, and offering some comments. So, I was just hanging out with Carl, and he said that he went back and he had a look at some of the videos, and he was just blown away by the professionalism, by the way that we stick on topic, which is really, really good. He likes that. He's just backing up, bro, a couple of the things that, you know, that we do together on the show that we remind ourselves about, how we try and keep the shows within a good watchable time frame, which is a really, really good thing. But he said something really nice, and he said that, you know, the way that you specifically orientate your tone text tips, the way that you've related some of the rankings and some of your observations with songs back to how you are applying that through your craft as a musician is a unique thing, and it balances what the Rock Professor and I and the Rev do on the channel. And I thought, shit, bro, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to be able to balance it. So top marks from Carl there, bro.
Wow. Well, that's thank you so much, Carl. If you're watching this back at some point, we always love having you on the show. And I know you were on the show well before I joined, and it's always a pleasure to be part of it. And to be honest with you, that I take that as a massive compliment coming from you. And Andrew and I, Simon and Kurt, we do focus quite heavily. We put a lot of energy into giving the best show possible. At times, it might seem like we're not, but we seem like we're having a bit of fun and things like that, which is part of the show. But we do a lot of homework for the show. And on a personal note, thank you, Carl. Appreciate that comment too. And I'm going to have to butter my ears to get through the door here once I finish, because I feel like my tires are getting pumped up pretty hard.
Yeah, and look, and I take that seriously to heart when he offers that kind of stuff, because it's not bullshit when it comes from a mate, and he's good himself, he knows what he's talking about, so that's even better, and yeah. So, and look, we don't do this because we want to seek recognition and pats on backs, Of course, we want to build our channel. We think we've got something valuable and interesting that people might find interesting. I've got a bit of background when it comes to music. Brad certainly has. So has the Rock Professor. So together, I think we made a good, tight team. And obviously, everyone in the chat, bro, jumps in and joins us. And obviously, the invitation for anyone in the chat to come on and do a midweek special, hang out with us. There's always an open invitation, bro.
Yeah. Well, look, that being said, maybe we should say hello to a few people in the chat. Andrew, what do you think?
What do you reckon, bro? I think you've got the chat up there. You do the fire outs.
Yep, I'm just trying. Okay, Tim, Thomas, how you going? Nelson, good to see you, Nelson. John ZD351, how are you, John? Good to see you. Arvin, where are we? Sorry, my chat is just playing up. Ellen, my mum, how are you? Who else have we got here? There's a few lurkers here. We want to see you guys give us a comment. So jump on. That's all I can see on my chat at the moment, Andrew. For some reason, I won't go backwards. But thank you guys for joining us on a Friday afternoon. It's a little bit cold and wet and miserable here in Melbourne here at the moment. What's the weather like there, Andrew, where you are?
Oh, it's good, bro. It's good. We've had some nice, bright, cold mornings, and some nice sunshiny days. Certainly notice, around before midday, change on the temperature, because it's getting into our summer for our North American people in the chat. It's getting into your winter. It's getting into Brad's and my summer, which is always, Look, we enjoy the times, seasons changes, don't we? It's always something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, yesterday we had a beautiful day here in Melbourne, so it was nice to get out and about, and wearing shorts and a t-shirt for a change. Yeah. Instead of wearing bloody warm stuff and jumpers and jackets and hoodies and beanies,
it makes me laugh because I remember we've done a couple of Instagram hangouts, couple of messaging. And Brad's had a swan dry on, like his bush jacket on, and his beanie pulled down over his, oh shit, it's cold here.
It's nice. Well, I'm really looking forward to spring, even though we're still, in lockdown mode. It's going to be a wonderful spring. It always encourages me to be more motivated and do different things and stay positive and everything. So, sending a lot of love out to Warren as well, because, Warren, we love you here, mate. I hope you're well. He's been liking and commenting on a few things on Instagram, which is great. So We know that you're lurking around, and if you get to see this, mate, shouts out to you, and all the best, Warren. We look forward to seeing you in the chat again.
And I'm glad you mentioned Warren, because I'm going to do a quick little shout out. He messaged me, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. And so he's got an idea. So he's getting motivated, which is really, really good, guys. And this is some good information that he won't mind me sharing with you guys. He's getting motivated. And one of the motivating things that he wants to do is he wants to contribute to our show when he gets out. So he's thinking, he goes, when I get back, he's got an idea called Fun Facts About Music, etc., to go with Brad's tech tips. And he's happy to do it if he wants us to. And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. So he's going to probably do some videos for us and fire them through to us, and we'll throw them up here like Brad's tech and tone tips.
Yeah.
And also has the opportunity to jump on and just be live with us too. So if we can inspire him to get better by doing a couple of videos for our channel.
Yeah, hell yeah. That would be amazing, Warren. We'd love to do that. You can take over the tech and tone tips, and if you like, you can do that. We'll get you doing a thumbs up, and then Andrew put the flame on it.
Yeah, so he wants to do, something a little bit like, I think, maybe what the Rock Professor's doing too, but mainly, maybe from a tone and a tech perspective. So yeah, look, I think maybe what the Rock.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Spooky.
I have no idea. I didn't press anything, honestly, mate. I'm off my phone. And hold on, and someone else that we know. Oh gosh, I got to get the name right, because if I don't get this person's name right, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna hold on, because somebody wants to join us when we do the Yardbirds, when we do a Yardbirds album, because hold on, who was it? Hold on. Yardbirds. Somebody said they want to join us. It's not Warren. It's not Stephen. Hold on. Okay. That person who's watching this is probably going to kill me. It's not Hugh Caldwell. Hold on. I'm just going through. It's not Lenny Lou. Okay. That is my bad. I don't know, bro. I'm going to have to go through. Maybe they messaged me on Facebook, but somebody...
You can come back to it.
Yeah, somebody said that they want... It's someone that's in the chat with us. If you're watching and you sent me a message saying that you're going to come on a show with us when we do the Yardbirds, remind me who you are.
Andrew's so popular, guys. He gets 100 messages a day, maybe more from fans everywhere around the world. So you've got to remind him, because he gets a lot of messages from some lovely ladies as well. They all want to stroke you.
I don't know who it is. Okay, anyway, it'll be somebody. It's someone that watches our show that said, look, if you ever do the Yardbirds, I'd love to come on. And I said, absolutely, we'd have you on. So, yeah.
Well, maybe you can have a look through your messages there, your hundreds of messages, when we get a chance through the show here.
I promise I'll do that. If I don't have the information on this show, we'll certainly have it for the Sunday show. And I suppose this is probably a good time. We never get tired of shout outs. So what's the Sunday show?
We're doing Black Sabbath, Volume 4. So we're looking forward to that deep dive. I've done a little bit of homework on this one already for the week prior. So we're looking forward to that. Bit of Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi and the boys. one of my favorites. And I was debating which Black Sabbath album to do, and Andrew and I flipped a coin, and we decided on Volume 4 this time. So some absolute crackers on it, absolute cracking songs. Really great album.
Yeah, and without sort of detouring too much off the planned subject for the show, I always loved that album cover. I just, I had a T-shirt with that album cover on it. It was just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we always sort of talk about these rock and blues guys and everything like that. And we did that Simon Hosford special with the Iron Maiden. But you can all stem it back to sort of guys like Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath, and that, we'll touch on that a lot more on Sunday, obviously. But some amazing playing on that record in general. The whole band are on fire. There's some great songwriting there. Ozzy's on top of his game with his vocals, in my opinion. He's really, really good. There's some beautiful songs on there, and there's some fairly dark, brooding rocker ones as well. So it's cool.
Yeah. And look, I look forward to doing that, because obviously, Brad is a Black Sabbath nut, and we're lucky too, because we've got the Rock Professor. He'll be on. He's seen them live.
Wow.
So he was probably in line when that album came out. He probably bought that album the day it was dropped. So again, that's one of the great things too that our show can offer. I talk about when I was 14 or 15 or 16, bro, when I got the album, and Brad talks about it when he bought the album too, when he was learning guitar, or when he was into the guitar or established as a guitar player. But the Rock Professor often was there when the album was dropped.
Well, I actually saw Black Sabbath on their last tour here in Australia, which was when they released, I think, their 13 album with Ozzy singing. I don't think it was Bill Ward on drums, though. It was Ozzy's actual drummer that he's using now, who's actually playing drums in the Dead Daisies, if you're familiar with the Dead Daisies. So, and we'll talk more about that on Sunday. But what a cracking album Volume 4 is. I'm glad we decided on that one, Andrew, because the other album I picked as well was a cracker, and it was like a flip of a coin. I'm like, Andrew, I don't know which one to do. He goes, I think this one. We flipped the coin. That was it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to agree with John ZD351 too. I love Ronnie James Dio. That Heaven and Hell album is just... Yeah, every time I think about that album, it's probably my favourite Black Sabbath album. I just love it. I just think Ronnie James Dio, what he bought, and again, that's look. I got to ask you this question, bro. I'm sorry, but we can ask it again on Sunday. It's like, I don't get this hate when I talk to Black Sabbath fans about Ozzy or Ronnie. Certainly, there's no division amongst Black Sabbath fans as far as some of those other guys that they brought in, who I can't remember. Brad probably does.
Yeah.
But I never get abused from Black Sabbath fans when I say I just adore Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, well, I think obviously when Ozzy left, they were doing justice to themselves as a band by picking another singer and going. And I believe from Never Say Die record, they actually auditioned someone else, and then they got Ozzy back in the band to do Never Say Die, and then he left. And when they got Dio in, I personally think they just stepped it up a notch, and they just went on their way, and they became a little bit more relevant to the time of music with Dio. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about every band that's replaced a lead singer. Every band that I can think of, it's just another step forward in a different direction. But, AC/DC did it. The only band that I know of, and we've discussed this previously, that people hate on is Van Halen for some reason. Whenever they changed the singer, but Van Halen was the brothers, really. It was the brothers, you know. So when Sammy joined the band, I love all eras of Van Halen. I was just listening to Van Halen 3 the other day with Gary, and look, it's a different album if you don't think of it as a David Lee Roth era Van Halen. There's some good music on there. It's great, and the bigger songs off that record are pretty good. You've got to give them a chance. A lot of people just diss it because it's a different singer, or it was a hard period for Black Sabbath to replace Ozzy, who was a big personality in Black Sabbath. But Dio was phenomenal, and his vocal ability, even right to the end, and Doug Aldridge, one of my guitar heroes, talks about it because he played with him for years and on and off. And he said, like, right up until the end, like, he'd be backstage coughing up blood and stuff like that, and with his diagnosis, and he was on his way out, but he still sung. I don't think I've ever heard Ronnie James Dio sing a bad note ever.
No. And, just a little fellow too, but boy, he could sing, yeah, look, I think I agree with you. I think, and I look forward to doing Heaven and Hell album with you and the Rock Professor later on too. That's just one out. I look forward to ranking the tracks on that album because, that's going to be easy. That's going to be an easy album to do. But look, I agree with you. I think they brought something to the game when he came on board. You just listen to the melody of the music on that album compared to, say, some of the earlier albums, and you're right though, bro. They were reflective of the times, which is great, which is what musicians needed to do, and so the melody aspect of their music was certainly part of that whole early 80s vibe. Just fantastic. And then obviously they continued with the evocative lyrics, that Ronnie James contributed to the band too. So, which was a little bit different from what Ozzy did, because most of the songwriting, as you know, was yeah.
Look, it's one of those things where I think there's, they searched for someone who was a singer songwriter, someone who could write great lyrics and back it up vocally. And Ronnie James Dio was no slouch vocally. If anything, he, I'm not going to diss Ozzy, but he was technically a better singer. And and Ozzy was great. I love Ozzy's voice, always have. But that's one of those things. It's just progression. Someone leaves a band, the rest of the band shouldn't suffer. Well,
they wanted to carry on, didn't they? They said, we're going. So who the heck have fans to say, you can't carry on? Yeah. Well, if you don't like it, don't buy the music.
One of the funniest things I've ever heard, and I won't diss the fans too much, but, fans of a band that diss an era of a particular act, and they go, up until that album, they were great, and then after that album, I don't want to know about them. And I've heard, it's big in some bands' history. Like, they'll go up until 19 whatever it is, up until that point, and when they started is only time frame for that band. Then the rest of it, they just diss it. They act like it, they disown it, and it's just baffles me. It just totally baffles me. It's like, well, you're dissing the songwriter for that era onwards, that's basically what it comes down to. So I didn't want to be too specific there because it happens, and I don't want to knock people that actually have that opinion either, but I don't understand it.
Look, I agree with you. I agree with you too, I love Dream Theater. I'm not a huge Dream Theater nut, but I just love Dream Theater. John Petrucci's got a different style compared to everything else that I listen to. James LeBray, you know, I like his vocals. And then when they left and they replaced him with Mike Mangini, you know, then, you know, I was on this big Dream Theatre forum and all these people crying and going on about, you know, how the band will suck without the drummer, and who does the band think they are? They should have given Portnoy the opportunity to make a break, you know, because he wanted a break, and the rest of the band said, no, we want to carry on. And I'm going, you know, literally, I remember that. I literally remember getting bags of popcorn, bro, and my Coke, and just sitting there watching these comments. Going, yeah, but look, at the end of the day, we're all experts and we're all fans.
Yeah.
So, you know, what are we doing, bro? We're just offering opinions.
Well, that's the thing.
What Brad and I are doing right now.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion. You know, opinions are like backsides. Everyone's got one. You know, that's basically what it amounts to. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's great to know that more people are positive about things and change. I mean, than negative. I'm not big on negativity. So when you're negative against a band, I think you're kind of going against the band's history and moving forward wise as well. I've never made that understanding between the two of being negative towards a band once they move on with a new singer, for example, and dissing it like as if it's disowning it, like it doesn't, you know, I don't want to know it. It's weird. Bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, well, yeah, look, yeah, and I think that's one of the great things that our show has is that we, the co-hosts, share common outlooks on really important issues, which is good because the glue that holds our shows together is a common thread. You know, I don't think the 5150 show would be as enduring for pretty much of this year if we had one of the co-hosts that said that Sammy sucked and David Lee Roth was the best, greatest singer. Yeah, I just couldn't see how, you know, how the show could be as dynamic as it is if we if one of us or two of us had that opinion. You know, what we do on the 5150 show is we clearly situate each lead singer in a period of that band's history and look at that band from that historical perspective. You've got to be able to have that. They call it thinking abstractly.
And that's, you know, brings us to obviously when we do the album rankings, we're ranking the album that we're discussing. We're not ranking against other songs from that band in different albums. And, you know, that's a whole nother topic in itself, is like a best of, for example. We talked about, Black Sabbath, the best of Black Sabbath. That's a completely different thing as opposed to you listening to Volume 4 and you're ranking the songs as an album. That's just so people understand when we do the album rankings, which is really fun, we're ranking it as per the album. So, and it's wonderful to do that.
Yeah, and that was another point too that Carl mentioned when I caught up with him this week. He thought the fact that we do that, bro, was fantastic. He said the fact that you guys go through, pick an album, rank the songs and talk about the songs and offer an opinion and your own subjective mark or score and then move on. He said that's great. He said that's just, where did you guys get this great idea from? And I said it was easy. Brad and I and the Rock Professor, we got together and we went, and then that thought came into our mind, ranking the tracks, skip, never play, never skip, never a skip, 10 out of 10. That's it, gentlemen. That's how it happened, bro.
Yeah, we all got that sort of vibration going, and we all understood each other without even talking.
Oh my God.
I call it a harmonic connection, you know, that vibration.
Oh, yeah, something like that. But no, seriously, he thought it was a great thing. And I said, yeah, well, it's good because what we tried to do when he was on earlier, and if you guys want to go back and look at some of the earlier shows, so what we tried to do is like we would spend, say, an hour talking about Beggar's Banquet.
Mm.
And when you do these kind of shows, so if I can sit here and I could get away with it with Carl because he knows shitloads about Beggars Banquet, so you can probably wing a lot of these things, but it gets to a point where you might repeat yourself 4 or 5 times during the course of an hour and a half. But at least if you got that song structure that we go through, that's it gives you something to focus on. So yeah, that was a good little shout out. Look, and thank you, the Harmonic Connection, for giving Brad and I and the Rock Professor that idea.
So as you can tell, today is a bit of a cruisy, get back together sort of thing. We haven't sort of spoken since. We have online, like through messaging and stuff, but we haven't been on since Sunday. And normally we do a Wednesday show. We were too busy, so we thought we'd just get on, casually run a few things. And obviously we've had something in the works for a couple of weeks, or nearly, was we're talking about the start of the show to show, and just a Friday catch up, as if we've knocked off work, we're at the pub having a beer in lockdown.
That's it, but with a bit of an agenda. So guys, I'm going to throw up a video that Brad did, as we said at the top of the show, about a week and a half ago. So, and Brad's kindly given us permission to share it on the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it here, and then I'm going to upload it to the channel. But I wanted to kind of premiere it here on a midweek or end of week special. So that'll be great. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask Brad about in relation to the video, that'll be great. And we're going to talk about Stratocaster tones, Stratocaster sounds. We've got a couple of questions going to fire at Brad. Please do. Yeah. So, all right, I'll get rid of this comment. G'day, Crappy. How's it going, brother?
Yeah. Thanks for everyone for joining us on a Friday afternoon. I call it Fuzz Friday. And that's appropriate because this is all about fuzzes.
Okay, Crappy, forgive me. I think we were talking about you at the top of the show, and I couldn't remember who the person was that said that they were going to jump on and do a show with us when we did, Peter Green, a hard road. Was that you? Because I couldn't remember. I tried to go back through my messages and I couldn't find. I think it was Crappy. Maybe he can qualify that. And while he's doing that, I will get the video. Yes, it was. Oh, I'm not that old after all. I'm just a little bit old. Yes, it was. Okay, Crappy. So that's good. So we were doing a bit of a shout out at the top of the show. We said Warren, who's going through some treatment, brother, he was going to do some videos for us, that we could show on the Sunday show. And I said, oh, yeah. I got a message from one of our regular viewers who said that they wanted to jump on and do that Peter Green album with us with John Mayall. And I couldn't remember. But I'm glad you confirmed that. So, yeah, you can, once we get that date sorted, brother, you can jump on and join us. That'll be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Be fun.
All right, I'm just going to get rid of this banner, and I'm going to throw on this video. Here we go.
Let's do it.
And Brad is going to come to the stage. Brad, what's up, my man?
Hey, Philip, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm feeling good. How's your morning treating you?
Got my cup of coffee. I'm good.
Yeah, you're cooking with gas now?
Cup of coffee and some fuzz pedal. That's my morning.
That's okay. Yeah, Jimmy's saying looking fresh for 6 a.m. Yeah, you are. You're looking good over there.
It's the fuzz pedals, mate. It's, it gets me looking fresh.
Fuzz keeps us fresh, for sure. I've definitely been seeing, since the last time we chatted, for the first time 2 weeks ago, things are continuing to be pretty challenging in Australia. How are you feeling? How are you holding up?
Oh, look, thank goodness for music and thank goodness for the guitar. That's all I can say, because it's been where I can channel a lot of energy into and when I'm frustrated, I play guitar. When I'm feeling happy, I play. When I feel sad, I play. So yeah, thank goodness I've got that gift.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's definitely a testing time. But I mean, look, we're, in one way, shape, or form, we're going through it, and we're not in the same boat. We're all in different boats, but it's our challenge we're going through here. So it's what we've got to sort of prepare for. And all I keep doing is trying to look at the positive side of it, and I'm being able to play a little bit more guitar at the moment. So it's good.
Yeah. It's kind of like piss off the neighbors a little more often, kind of thing.
It's funny we're talking about fuzzes because I've dusted off one of my fuzz pedals, and actually the Morningstar thing that you did. I was going to thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a crack at that too. So that was fun. I had a lot of fun with that.
Well, I want to tell you that, as I was mentioning to Jimmy as well, I mean, you played such a beautiful and awesome, kick-ass version of it, and I'm really honored by that. I'm really touched. You're such a fabulous player. So that was really, really beautiful to hear it. And, again, music is never, I mean, at least for me, I'm super turned off when people are like trying to compete in music. It's like, okay, I'm out. You're not, no thanks. That's not what this does. And especially the spirit around that from the community, I was just so touched, and particularly, again, talking with your version of it, because you're such a great player, and it was exciting to hear it. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Philip. That means a lot to me. I had a lot of fun with it, but with your fuzz pedals, like when you're running your tone, with your amp settings, have you got a lot of gain structure in your amp, or is it fairly clean? Like, is your bass is fairly clean and volume? Is that what you're sort of running?
Great questions, and thanks for asking, Brad. So the volume it's not that loud in here, right? Like I'm running through this amp, and it's it's the same. I mean, if I try to sing a little bit over it, as I'm sort of mixing it in here with the volume of my voice with the amp, so it's not that loud. In terms of gain, it's not like high gained out, but it's kind of at a sound where I would say it's comparable to like a super reverb on 6, where you're starting to get a little bit of juice, some onions there, but it's not like chin. It's not like chin. You're not getting the chin chinner, But like that's nothing on, right? So it's just kind of like it would be like a Marshall or a Fender amp that's, about halfway up or 2/3, a little over halfway up kind of thing, but not super dirty, because for me, I would like to keep as much clarity as I can, and then especially when you step on a fuzz, it's really hard to maintain the clarity, right? So does that help? Is there any more that I could,
No, that definitely helps. So I mean, that's the how I'm trying at the moment. It's just that just break up sort of tone, and like the amp sort of breathing a little bit. You can hear all the harmonics in everything you're playing, and then using the fuzz. But I guess at each fuzz pedal, as you've alluded to, they function differently in front of the amp and with the guitar you're using and stuff like that. So it's more just the idea of getting that basis of a good, clear, just gritty sort of guitar tone with your amp. And then I'm finding just with my pedal, especially the one I'm playing with, it's a bit of a hybrid pedal. So it's probably not, I'm not blessed with at the moment to own a vintage fuzz face, but they're a bit few and far between here in Australia. So I've had a custom pedal designer do one for me, which has been fantastic. But each day it does sound different, and I'm struggling with it, and I just thought I'd ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it is something that I'm hearing you say that it is a bit of a struggle. I mean, I think the fuzz is not necessarily a plug and play pedal, especially for a player like yourself. You've a lot of dexterity, a lot of lead playing and stuff, and it's like wanting to maintain the the clarity in it, right? You don't want to like lose it, and that's where something like that where I think the Diaz pedal really shines, because it's so touch sensitive, I think, too. Have you played any of the Diaz fuzz, or have you got the pedal pawn?
A pedal pawn. I've tried the pedal pawn. I haven't had the pleasure of coming across a Caesar Diaz one. No, not here in Australia.
Yeah, I think I think as well. Like King Tone makes incredible fuzz pedals. Scott McKeon's got great. I mean, BMF makes killer. Like, there's so many really, really good ones. Even like old full tone pedals, like the early ones.
Yep.
I don't know what they're like now. Maybe they're great, but the real early ones, if you can find them, those are really good. But I think as we talked about, and I'm sure you're hip to this, but it's always adjusting the volume and adjusting the pickups and almost like leaving the fuzz on as like a, it's sort of like an addition to the amplifier in a way. It's like adding another channel. So okay, we've got this channel on in the amplifier, and then just controlling all your sounds from here. And I don't know if that's a way that you approach that sometimes or not.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my my fuzz pedal now. I've got it in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm just having a look at how I've got it set from the last time I used it, which was yesterday. The fuzz is kind of like at 1 or 2 o'clock volumes. I have the volume so it doesn't really push the front end. It just kind of pushes a little bit, not stupidly wound right up, and that's the best tone I can get out of it. So, but it's actually a hybrid, so it's got a tone control on it and a mids control as well. We put that on it so you can get a little bit of tonality thing, and I put the Octavia in it as well. This is a custom pedal.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's a guy here in Melbourne, Australia, called Sean Klinger, and it's called Ravi Fuzz. We call it Ravi Fuzz, so you can see the graphic on it's pretty cool.
The graphic's really nice. Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, so that's my custom pedal, and I mean, we're all got little stories where we, connect with people and we, deep dive into getting a pedal designed or something like that. So absolutely. I try to support local guys, here in Australia, just to, businesses keep them afloat. So
yeah, absolutely. And to collaborate with someone and come to a meeting place on something like this, it's exciting. It's fun,
Yeah,
and it becomes
that's on my EP. I use that on my Time to Fly EP bit. It's on
really?
Love, Shake It and stuff like that. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, well, it sounds huge. Whatever you've been using sounds huge. And just to share with everyone, we mentioned last week, but with the songs, you want to mention where people can hear your music and hear this.
Yeah, thanks, Philip. Just easiest way is to go to my Instagram. Is just Brad Cook Music. Just go there, give me a follow. I'm trying to build my following, but yeah, it's not the reason I said that. Just go check out. I've got links to my website and stuff on there, and you can check out the sound of this pedal as well, I guess. But thanks, Philip, for I've always wondered, like, the tonality thing of your amp, because it changes things if you're too gained up, or when you go loud, obviously you back your gain off, and you still want that clarity. So I mean, in my room here, this is my little studio. I don't play too loud in here, but on stage it changes, obviously. So the minute I use that fuzz on stage, I find myself just basically over all the time trying to adjust it, and it gets a bit frustrating. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not alone in that. Just so you know, it's constant. It's constant. You're constantly trying different approaches, and some days it's right on. Other days it's like, I'm not sure. So you're not alone in that process. And I think it's just trying to have fun with it as much as possible, and really to avoid the I don't know if this is something for you, but where you start taking it out on yourself, and I think that's the place where it's got to be like, I'm going to come back to this tomorrow. It's going to be great tomorrow, and just trying to remember that with the frustration and the because the last thing we want to do is turn on ourselves when we're getting frustrated with the gear or it doesn't sound right. And I know for me, I can get really irritated, like if the gear's messed up or if something's supposed to be there and it's not, or like all these things. And so I think it's just knowing that it will be there tomorrow.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can get out and play live again at some point, and I'll
need both.
Yeah, it's crazy times at the moment, but I encourage everyone to stay positive, and look, we'll get through this at some point.
That's it, man.
We'll get to the other side, and hopefully we can all get out and play again and do what we're meant to be doing.
Absolutely, and thank God for Mark that created Together so that we could have this opportunity to connect.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thank you, Mark. This has been a really, really warming experience to be part of this community. So thank you. And it's great again to meet you again, Philip. I mean, a massive inspiration to me. So it's really cool that we're connected like this.
Thank you, Brad. And you got to know you inspire me too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
My friend, be well today. Have a beautiful day and be safe out there. And this too shall pass, right? So just one day at a time.
And same to yourself, Philip. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, my friend. I really, yes. Peace and, I got pick in my hand. Peace and light. But thank you, Brad. Really nice to see you today. And hopefully we'll see you. I'll see you online. We'll see you again soon. All right. Be well, my friend. Play on. Yeah. All right. Yeah, exactly. Hang in there, Brad. Exactly. Yeah, Brad's a great guy, great musician. Absolutely. Okay, a goose.
Wow. I muted myself because I didn't want people to hear me go, oh, sorry. And I better unmute myself. I watched that video probably, I think that might be about the 5th time I've watched it. What? Tell us, bro. Just, I'm not going to say anything. Just give us a bit of a rundown, brother.
Obviously, that's on a website called together.co, and we'll share the link. You can go on there and ask. You've got to register and whatnot. And it's been a great way. There's a good little community on there and a great way to obviously meet Philip. Big inspiration to me, as probably people are aware of by now. And he was just doing a fuzz pedal rundown on that at the particular time. And so I got up nice and early, bright and early, 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning here in Australia to watch it. And just managed to have a good chat about fuzz pedals and running fuzz, differently. I mean, I've been trying different ways to run fuzz. I have a love and a hate relationship with fuzz, more of a love than a hate, but there's times where I hate them because they just become, they're temperamental. They're all over the place. Sometimes they just phenomenal, and other times they can be a real bitch, and that's putting it nicely. So, it's just good to, hear that obviously, I mean, he was going through different fuzz pedals and showing the difference of, his fuzz pedals that he had at that particular point. And, it was just, I've been, obviously since then, I've been playing around with my fuzz a fair bit too. And it's really good because, like he was explaining, it's like you leave your fuzz on and you roll your volume back and forwards depending on what you're trying to achieve. So it's like you've got a second stage for your amp, so to speak, if your fuzz pedal's on. But the wonderful thing a fuzz pedal does is it actually, when you roll your tone back a little bit, they become very dynamic and they come to life a bit, and you get these really beautiful glassy tones that you normally wouldn't get. Running, like I run Marshalls, which is a bit different to what Philip runs, but the same principle applies. You get your amp so it's breaking up a little bit, and he demonstrated obviously with his Strat what he was doing before the fuzz was turned on, and it's still a break-up tone. It's not crystal clear, clean amp tone. So the whole idea of it is you're just pushing the front of your amp a little bit harder. But the wonderful thing about it is, and I've been experimenting a little bit this week with it, in my downtime, usually late at night, but the neighbours probably hate me here at the moment because I'm playing 11 and 12 o'clock at night with a fuzz pedal cranked. Anyway, it's what I've got to do. It's the only time I've got free to do it. But what I'm saying is that the fuzz pedal, it acts more dynamically when you leave it on instead of turning it off to go clean. And there's no right or wrong. You can run your amp without a fuzz pedal and play a bit cleaner as well, which is a different tone again. But, if anyone's familiar with Philip Sayce, and I noticed a few people in there saying, how's Philip Sayce not the next biggest thing and this and that, and I agree. But he leaves his fuzz pedal on quite a bit and rolls the tone back, rolls the volume back, not tone, volume. So it's all dynamics in the hands and everything as well, and the way you play and the execution. But they bring out a certain sparkle to the tone. Is that what you're hearing when you hear it, Andrew? What is that the descriptive word that I can't really think of at the moment? It's like a sparkly tone they bring out.
I think that's probably a good way to describe it. And rolling the volume off, I can't reiterate what Brad said there. You know, we read about it, we hear about it, but unless we properly do it ourselves, we can't sort of understand how important that is. That's probably one of the key things. So I just want to do a quick shout out, bro. We've got Texas Jackdaw in the chat, and we also have all the way from the UK some kind comments from Cool Music Tech, who subscribed to our channel earlier today. So thank you for joining us, brother. We appreciate that. But look, I agree with you, Brad. I think it's one of those great things. I'm going to let you continue doing your introduction or your conclusion of that video, because I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's just a wonderful platform as well. So I'm going to give a shout out to Mark, who runs that platform, and go over there and subscribe and all that as well. And there's some wonderful artists on there, not just Philip. There, you know, some wonderful artists on there that are worth checking out. But it's just I mean, it's amazing for me to be able to connect with someone like Philip Sayce. It's just sensational. Big inspiration, and like I've alluded to in the past, you know, it was just that last little bit of a push over the edge I needed when I heard Spirit Rising come out to push my own music out there. And you know, I've been thinking about it for years and never felt like I had the ability or confident enough to do it. And just hearing Spirit Rising, for some reason, it just gave me that urgency and edge to push it out there. I don't know, some energy that was in that record when I heard it made me go, okay, you can do this. So yeah,
awesome. That's outstanding. And if you guys haven't already checked out a couple of videos, I think Brad and I have done a special already on Philip Sayce. So go and have a look on the channel. I think it's under the playlist of midweek specials, because Philip has a big place on our channel. Number one reason, Brad's just told you the reason why, because it motivated and helped Brad produce his EP, which connected our channel with Brad. And you know, now Brad can't leave, so he's here. But the connection also was, you know, the fact that I was digging this cat's Stratocaster playing, and he was playing something that resonated within me and within Brad and within, you know, these other people here in the chat, you know, going back to Hendrix, going back to Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, that magic tone. And he's contemporary. He's like Texas is saying, and Brad's just said, he's playing that type of genre that we're familiar with today now, as well as Brad.
Yeah. 100%. You know, the influences are there with a lot of players that are doing similar styles, like that blues rock thing and whatnot. But there's something quite unique about Philip's playing, which is, you know, you can hear the influences there, but he's not trying to mimic anyone. He's just putting himself into the playing, which is very, very amazing. I call it an authentic sort of way of doing things. Instead of, your influence is always going to be there, and there's some players and that just blatantly try to play like their heroes, and then there's players that have their heroes, you know, their influences there in their playing, but they're trying to do something more unique and authentic with it. And that's what Philip does, is he pushes himself as well. I think he's continually pushing himself and learning, which is admirable. A lot of players will rest on what they're comfortable with, and then that's it. But he seems to be evolving all the time, which is probably more down to who he is as a person and a human being, or human becoming, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Look, I agree with you, and that's one of the great things about music, and we keep saying it on this channel. You know, it's a great thing. It brings out. It's supposed to bring out the best in you. You know, and you know. But even when you're feeling bad, angry, pissed off, or whatever, music's great too, because it can even add more fuel to the fire. So it's just one of those great things that that we love about music. But that sincerity and that honesty from Philip Sayce has come through. This is the second video that we've premiered on the show that Brad shared with us. And that's what we like doing too on the show too. We like being part of this good news. So the fact that Brad had to get up and have 2 coffees, well, didn't have to, wanted to, to get up and have 2 coffees and hang out with Philip and share that with us is really awesome. Bro, I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you. So you got me onto the Univibe too. So I've got my Hendrix. I picked up a inexpensive Univibe, secondhand, because I remember Brad did a show with us and he said that anybody that's got a Stratocaster that's playing any kind of blues has to have a Univibe. Otherwise you're out. So
You better get one.
yeah. So, but no, seriously though, I agree with you. It's probably one of the most important effects that you have to have for a Stratocaster. But my first question to you is: do you use a Univibe with your Les Paul? Because I know that you're a Les Paul man. Do you? And I know that, and I'm not talking about your Les Paul that's coil tapped. So when it's on humbucking mode, do you enjoy your Gibsons when you're playing your Univibe? Is it something that gives you something that you like? Is it something that appeals to your ear, or is it something that just your single coils and that's it, baby?
No, I'm glad. That's a pretty good question, actually. I mean, I've learned to use a Univibe with my Les Paul really well in the humbucker position I'm talking about, not in a single coil position. And if you have it on a slow pulsing with the Les Paul, it sounds fantastic. The faster pulsing sounds different as well. I actually find I can pull really good Beatles type things and effects with, I'm talking like stuff off Sergeant Pepper's and Revolver and some of those sort of tones you're hearing. And if you play around with pedals, you can mimic things, and I've found I can mimic really well. You can almost get like a phase type thing going on with your Les Paul. The Strat tends to really love the Univibe pedal, though. It's for some reason it's like I just associate it with music in colors for me. Everything when I listen to music, I picture color and I picture texture. I'm a bit of a weirdo that way, so I can shut my eyes and I'm seeing colors. I'm seeing movement and I'm seeing like frequencies and stuff in different colors, and it depending on the mood of the song, I can see warm colors, I can see really strong colors, I can see really dead colors, and depending on the music. And call me a weirdo or not, but whenever I hear a Univibe, I picture like really warm browns and honeys and oranges and purple textures. And to me it sounds, if I could put a particular visual to what I'm hearing in my head, it'd be like watching honey drip from a spoon. That's kind of, and how it sort of swirls. That's what I picture. A Les Paul has that really nice, warm, liquidy tone with a Univibe pedal. So does a Strat, obviously, but a Strat seems to come to life more, and it does lean very Hendrix-like with a Stratocaster. You can't do anything with a Univibe pedal without it sounding, Hendrixy, in my opinion. If that answers your question, I don't know if that answers it properly, Andrew, but that's the best way I can answer that.
I'm not going to offer an opinion on that. No, I won't. So we all know that behind Brad, he's got beer dispensers dressed up as Marshall amps.
Yeah.
Apparently. But I know the real secret. Behind those Marshalls are fenders.
Yes. Yeah, that was Warren who said that, by the way, guys. Warren. So, yeah. He reckons they're beer dispensers, but yeah.
Look, look, we're always going to take a pot shot at Brad and Warren, aren't we, if we can get a chance? Hey, seriously though, bro, seriously. I know you got Marshalls.
Yeah.
And I know you're a Marshall man and a Gibson man. Anybody that's familiar with our show will know that that's what Brad is. But one of the great things about Brad, though, is the flexibility that he has as a gigging musician. He's got Stratocasters. See, he's got a Strat right behind him. Loves Strats. It's not a this over that. It's what I'm doing is what do I need for what I'm doing, which is the key thing. And I suppose it's vital for a gigging musician to have that flexibility to move between the two types of guitars. But have you played your Univibe through Fenders? Do you hear the difference between a Fender when you've played? Because I'm sure you would have.
Yeah.
Is there like something earth-shatteringly different between the two? Is to make you go out and get a super reverb, or have you thought about where I'm going with this question?
Yeah. I've played super reverbs. I've played like backline hire at gigs when I've gone into state and stuff like that. When I played a gig for a charity, which was in the northern part of Australia, up in Townsville, I think it was, or somewhere. I can't remember exactly because it was a long time ago. We had 2 super reverbs on stage, and I used a tube screamer in the front of the amp to get more of a breakup. But without the tube screamer, it was quite harsh, and obviously I had to push the damn thing hard for it to sound good. Like for me, for what I'm used to, like I had to drive volume to get it to break up the way I wanted it to, which I was obviously very uncomfortable with that on stage because I was the loudest person on stage, and probably the people in the first few rows in front of me probably went home deaf that night. So we've been ringing in their ears like for days, no doubt. And I love Fender amps, and I'm not an expert with Fender amps. I've learnt though with Fender amps that you've got to have a fair bit of volume in them to get them to break up. And actually, there's a really good YouTube channel. Nick 70 has got a really good channel, and he talks about his Fender amps a lot and stuff like that. But the one thing I take away from all differences with Marshall's Fenders, no matter what you use, and even Vox amps, I've used Vox amps, is you can get a good tone out of any amp if you spend time with it. And I always find that I've been down the rabbit hole. I've bought and sold that many amplifiers through my career. If I can save that sort of money to a new person who's investing money off the bat, straight off buying gear, buy something that, something that inspires you, and try and hang on to it and make it work for you, because you'd be surprised what you can actually do with the right gear and really giving it a chance rather than moving things along. If it's reliable, if it's a good, robust sound, and all you need is a good, what I call foundational tone. So when I say is your guitar an amp, if you've got a good sound with that off the bat, you can make it happen and get any sort of tone you like to your ear that suits what you like. Obviously, Marshalls are going to sound like Marshalls. Fenders are going to sound like Fenders. Voxes are going to sound like Voxes. Soldano will sound like Soldano. But I can get, pretty close with my amp if I muck around with it and change, frequencies and tones and back gain off and put more volume in and this and that. You can really get in a ballpark is what I'm saying. You don't need to, flexibility is one thing. There's a lot of modern technology that, I am not embracing at the moment, which obviously moving forward on the other side of all this world craziness, I might have to, if I start touring, I might need to actually look at some of this modern technology. But for the moment, I've sold that many amps. I've had that many amps. I've actually gone back to just having one amp and making it work for me, which is, I'm quite proud of the fact that I can rock up to a gig with my guitar and not my amp and get a half decent tone. But with my rig, I know exactly what to pull for the gig. And say it's a blues gig, I can pull blues tone. Say it's a, I'm doing a cover show and it's got a lot of rock playing in it, I can pull a rock sound. If I need cleans, I can pull clean tones. So it's really just comes down to getting to know your gear is what I'm saying, giving it a chance.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, and I think one of the key things, I just want to add a little bit to what Brad's said. One of the great things about getting gear and going through the process of getting gear is that you appreciate when you've got to a point where you can say, yep, this is for me, because we've gone through that progress. And I've said this before, bro, and I've said it to you before as well, when we've been speaking offline. If you had given me a Marshall Blues Breaker amp 15, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have appreciated it, because I've gone through the progress of, getting these other amps. So the great thing about the Marshall for me is I can use the jumper cable, and I can put my Les Paul on, and I can crank that up. I can put the gain up. I can run it through my aux, and it's fantastic. I can turn the gain down, put it onto channel 1, put my Strat through it, and I'm getting some nice, good, cleanish tones. So Brad's advice works. So I've got one amp now besides my Yamaha, and I haven't had one amp for a long time. There were times where I had 2 or 3 amps. So I'm like Brad. I'm comfortable with what I got, and guess what? I can't see myself changing for a long time.
Well, I would love to be in a position to buy different amps and have all different styles of amps, of course. But when it comes down to it, I'm happy with just a couple of different speaker boxes. I've got one main head, I've got a spare one, and that's it. That's all I and the majority of gigs that I do these days, if they're interstate, I'm always using higher rigs anyway. So it's not necessarily, I think what it comes down to is get a guitar that resonates with you, like how, you connect with it and you feel like you're at one with the guitar. And then you go from there and you find an amp that marries up with because that's the other thing that I was talking to Philip about too. Like certain guitars will marry up well with certain fuzz pedals, with certain amp heads, certain speaker boxes, and then other guitars will sound not so good in that particular setup. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not good. You got to work with it to get that tone. That's all.
Yeah. Look, I fully agree with you. And guys, if you guys haven't already checked out Brad puts a lot of stuff on his Instagram channel of him playing live. He's got some videos there on his story. So there he is there. If you guys, especially some of the new people that have just jumped in, who've joined us on this live stream, really appreciate that. Please check out Brad Cook Music Instagram. Hit his subscription. Brad will keep you in touch with what we're doing here on this channel. If you guys are Instagrammers, and you'll see some other accounts there if you follow him that pop up regularly. So you can follow some of those guys as well. But hit Brad's stories, because he'll keep you up to date with what he's doing. He takes you for nature walks. The Australians have got this thing where they've got to go out, and it's like this Irwin. It's this the Irwin thing. They're out
Steve
there.
Irwin, yeah.
Steve Irwin. Sorry, Steve Irwin. And they,
chasing
looking
crocs
for
and snakes
and spiders.
Well, on that note, I think it's important to follow Andrew's channel as well, Bree Electric Blues Show. There's a link in my bio for Andrew's, and he shares a lot of stuff as well. And lately he's been sharing some wonderful stuff like playing guitar and things like that. So please go over and give him a like as well, or follow, whatever you call it, whatever the kids call it these days on Instagram.
Follow. Yeah.
Go across there and give him a follow as well. And, we really appreciate everyone getting, up behind what we're doing, and it just inspires us to keep going. But look, the good thing about connecting with someone like Philip Sayce, I actually had from the horse's mouth, so to speak, on how he runs his fuzzes and that. And I went and tried a few things after that conversation, and man, oh man, it's changed things a little bit for me. I mean, the Univibes, they're all over my EP. The fuzz is there, a gained up Marshall's there, but a couple of things that I wasn't trying was what he alluded to, and I've tried them, and I'm like, wow, this could end up on my new music whenever that ends up being released. I'm not in a hurry to do that because can't get out and back it too much at the moment because of the situation of the world. But eventually, when the time's right, I will release some more stuff, and you'll probably hear more fuzz on there, more Univibe. I mean, there is Univibe with Les Paul on my EP, by the way, Andrew, is just here and there in bits and pieces. So
Yep.
it does work. It's not something that and for me, it's a guitar is a guitar. There's different tonalities in that, but you can make them all work together. It's no right or wrong. You might as well, if you got the pedals and you want to try it. That's what I say.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we've got Brad here because, as Carl said, and I repeated at the top of the show, one of the great things about Brad is that he offers our channel some authenticity from a gigging musician's perspective. And, we were lucky. The channel was really, really lucky to get Brad on. And now he's, he owns the channel too. He's a co-host. He's part of the family, and that's what our channel's about, guys. We've got a structure that we like to stick to, and we're semi-serious about what we do, but we treat this, we'll let you guys into a secret about how we do our shows here. We treat it like a gig. So no one turns up to a gig unprepared because you never come back to that gig.
That's true. Yep, we do. Even these midweekers or end of week ones that we do, there's still an idea and a structure there, even though they're a bit looser than our 5150 show and our weekend every week show, the 5150, the British Electric Blues show. Sorry, guys, the British Electric Blues show with the Rock Professor. Everything on that is stuck. We've done our homework for that. We come on, we follow a plan, we stick to it. We deviate a little bit, but we always come back to it. So we still prepare for these, but they're a bit looser. We just shoot the breeze a bit more, don't we? We're actually getting better at it, Andrew.
Well, I think one of the great things about the midweek shows is that this is where we throw the originals in.
Yeah. Plus, we give shouts out to people like Philip Sayce and that, and by all means, go and follow Philip Sayce on socials and give his music a listen on Spotify.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. That's a good thing. So, if you guys, I'm going to keep saying it, you guys need to subscribe to our channel here, please. It's really, really important. We've had some really good channel growth recently. We really, really appreciate it because we know Sonia's here. She's in the chat, and we know Mark, Tanner, we know Nelson. All you guys have been sharing our channel with, and if I haven't mentioned your names, and you know that you have been helping Brad and I and the Rock Professor and the Rev with sharing our channel, we appreciate it. We know that you guys are doing that. But we're looking forward to getting 1,000. That's going to be sooner rather than later, and it's down to you guys, and obviously, the contribution by the co-hosts to the show. But we're going to do things maybe a little bit different next week. We might do. You guys have to sub to Brad's Instagram because if we do a midweek show and it possibly looks like it's going to go ahead, we're going to go and do that on Brad's Instagram channel. Yeah. So I look forward to that because we've been talking about doing some stuff on Instagram, even though Brad does and the Rock Professor and I jump on. We haven't really had a community hangout on there. So I look forward to that, bro.
Yeah, well, I've mentioned in the past we might do on the 5150 show that we might do a detuner setup type thing, which we wouldn't do on the channel here, but we'll do on Instagram because it's more of a geeky tech thing, I think. And I think if someone's interested, they can tune into that and check it out. It's very cool. But yeah, definitely we'll do that. If not, we'll come back on here and we'll do something. So we'll work it out. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I look forward to it. And also cool music and tech. Thank you for that. Wonderful, wonderful comment. We do what we can too on our channel. So you know, you're new to us. So if you want us to put your channel on videos that we do, or even on the Nightbot, we can set your channel up on a night. We're Brad and I will help anybody that helps us by calling for subs, because that's the only way really, you know, smaller channels are going to sort of get the growth, because we're going to stick to what we do. And we stick to, as Brad said, you know, we stick to our formula, and we try not to deviate too much. But I'm looking forward to the Sunday show, bro. As usual, you're going to kick that off, followed by the Rock Professor and myself. I get the easy job. I just get to give my rankings.
Yeah, there might be a couple of shock sort of rankings in this, but I won't give away too much. But I mean, Black Volume 4, we got to rank it as an album. So you've got to rank it as an album, as we do every album we do. So can't rank it as a favorite Black Sabbath song, which is something that we're alluding to. Is everything we do, we base it around an album ranking based on that album, and I think we do that really well.
Look, I might let a bit of fluff out of the bag. It's a great album. It's not a masterpiece. It's a great album.
Yeah.
It's a great Black Sabbath album.
There's some cracking songs on it. I mean, yeah, there's some cracking, and I think, you know, I'll open up a little bit more about the songs in particular as we go on. But there's some cracking tunes on it. So, and some fantastic playing. The band, wow. And the thing I love about those albums in particular is they're so there's such a live energy to the recordings. So obviously they're recording a lot of it live, in my opinion. You know, and I love that.
Yeah. And that's one of the great albums about it. And we'll have Sonia here too, because we know that she is Black Sabbath nut. She has a Epiphone Tony Iommi SG that's with her 23 hours of the day. So you know, we know that. And the week after that, bro, we're doing part. Is it now? Is this down part 2 or part? Okay, yeah, part 2 of this.
Yep.
And I think that's probably it, because it depends how in depth the Rev takes us on part 2. Because if we run out of room, we might have to come back and do part 3. Because you know what he's like. Gee.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say, we know what he's like. And the other thing too, guys, you know, we don't schedule too much more than 2.5 hours a show. So if we know it's going to go past 2.5 hours, we will let you guys know during that show that we're going to do a part 3. So we'll see how we go. But I know he's going to try and do some more deep dives for a few questions that came up in the last chat, which is part of his homework. So that's why he's busy off doing his homework right now. He's getting prepared for next week. So, you know, he's sending us lots of messages going, you bastards have got me working so damn hard. I can't, you know, focus on anything else. And but yeah. So
we look forward to that, don't we? We look forward to hanging out with the Rev. That's always a good show. But no, you're right, bro. I think one of the good things is we've learnt that recipe, haven't we? We would rather come back and do 2, 3, or even 4 shows if need be, rather than do 1 4 or 5 hour show.
Yeah,
I'd rather come back and, you know, because I want to hear what Brad has to say. You know, I want to hear what the Rock Professor has to say. You know, because that's ultimately, without taking into your guys in the chat contribution and your support, ultimately it's about listening to what Brad has to say. That's why I'm here tonight, because I wanted to talk to Brad about Philip Sayce, and the fact that you cats are hanging out with us is brilliant, and it's humbling. So stay tuned. We've got some great shows coming up planned. We're waiting for the Beatles to drop an album. We're going to pull finger and do something with this guy here.
Yep.
Coming up, haven't we? And then we've got some Brad is on assignment.
Yep. Yep, we've got lots of things planned. A quick question I've got for you, Andrew, is your guitar collection in the back there. So your 51, is that your 5150 guitar that's upside down?
Yep.
Is that specifically upside down for a reason, or did you just put it that way?
Oh,
How have
okay.
you
So
got that? How have
because
you
that's
got
got
that?
a hook. It's got a hook on the end, and
Oh, yeah.
so the guitar hanger. So I've just got it hanging.
Okay. That looks
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Cheers, brother. Oh, I'm gonna let a big cat out of the bag. So Brad and I and the Rock Professor are going to do a midweek show at some stage talking about Van Halen tones. So I've got a Yamaha THR 30 here that I can share screen with some of my settings. Brad's going to talk about how he gets his seventh seal specifically tones, and go and check out his channel because he's got a clip of him playing some Van Halen tones, and I also want to do some comparisons because I got that same pedal today. So we're going to do that kind of live, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you guys through my computer system here. I've got that. Hold on, I might be able to show it to you now. Hold on. I wonder if it's going to do it. Let me show you this thing here, and I'd love to. Okay, close. Hold on, brother. Hold on. I'd love to do this with you guys live because I know that we've spoken about it. So if I go here to share screen, go here.
I'm excited. I don't know what this is. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So okay. So this is my
wow.
Reaper. This is my Reaper program, and this is the patch that I bought, which is the Eventide patch. I bought this about 18 months ago, and it's got different. So what you can do is you can replicate the Van Halen settings here on the micro pitch that I play through my Yamaha on the dry Van Halen setting, which doesn't have the chorus effect or whatever, and it plays through here. So I'd love to do this live with you guys and compare it and see what you guys think with the Yamaha and with Brad playing live and the Rev. Just and this, the good thing about us doing this is that this is just not really expensive kind of gear. This is stuff that you can just do relatively cheaply, and you can be surprised at how close you can get, I'd say.
Well, I was pretty damn impressed with that Moore pedal that Kurt got for me. How close of a tone I got to 7 Seal is unbelievable.
So what I want you guys, and I agree, and we've got the Rock Professor here. We've just been doing some shout outs to the Rock Professor. You Van Halen guys here, Will, Soda, Gussie, I know you guys know what we're talking about. If you can jump over here, because let's do an experiment. There he is there. Go and check out Brad there. Go and check his stories out and have a look at that clip. And I'm going to tell you something. Nerd Halen said something phenomenal. Nerd Halen said to Brad, "You're not playing this. You're just miming."
He did too. I didn't know how to take that at
first. This isn't anyone. This is Van Halen. You're just miming it. So you know, and Nerd Halen doesn't throw out shout outs like that for nothing.
Yeah, thanks, Caleb. We love you, mate. I'm hoping you were joking.
But yeah, look, we'd be really keen to hear what you guys have to, what you think about that, because, we're just ordinary guys trying to replicate a tone that meant a shitload to us when we were, back 30 years ago. And we're still talking about it.
Still talking about it. I mean, look, it's funny because some people don't necessarily like that particular tone, and that's okay. Not everyone has to like that tone. They like the drier early Van Halen tones, but I resonate with that tone because that was the era of Van Halen. That was my era, and
Yeah.
that was something that I hold close to my heart. It was a period of time where I was learning to play guitar and getting into that style of music. And, like I've alluded to on the 5150 show, that Carnal Knowledge record, that was the first record I could go at my age to buy, and it was brand new. So
Yep.
that's like an exciting thing for me. I bought a brand new Van Halen record the day it came out. It's like, so it was great. And that sound of the Carnal Knowledge and Balance for me will always be my favorite Van Halen tone. It just will be. That
Mine
I
too.
don't think it'll ever change. I
Yep.
like all eras of his tone, but I love that tone, and I'm so glad that through a process of elimination and just using a Marshall head and a Moore pitch box pedal and a delay, that I can actually pull a really close sound
Yep.
to that without going to all the expense of, wet, dry, wet, or wet, dry, whatever you want to, whatever it alludes to, how he recorded it. It's fantastic. And it's great what you can do with technology these days. It's fantastic,
Oh, look, I agree with you, and I
I'm,
love it too. It's
I'm
my
looking forward to
favorite
that,
tone.
that plug-in to see what you can do with that, But I
You,
just saw a comment in there. Sorry, I've lost someone's comment there, guys, about that Stratocaster there. And that's a 79. That's a 79.
that was Soda. That was Soda.
Sorry, I
So
just wanted
no,
to address that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
that was Soda.
79. It's a 3-bolt neck. It's not the what do you call it? It's not a sought after Fender Strat, but it's just a remarkable guitar. For some reason, it's just got some magic. It's like you can get. And Andrew and Simon have actually done shows on this, like with Epiphones and this and that. You can pick up a guitar. It doesn't matter what the brand, what era, what vintage, whatever. You can pick up a guitar and it can have some sort of magic. It will happen. Some guitars you pick up and it's like, wow, this thing, it hits you. It goes straight through your soul and it becomes part of you. It's actually, some guitars do that. And, this 79 Strat, it's not a sought after Fender Stratocaster, but it hit me. And, I love it. It's one of my favorite guitars.
Awesome, bro. Well, it's been cool hanging out with your brother as usual. I wish you well. Good to see that you're doing it good. You're doing it good, brother.
Yep.
I look forward to the Sunday show. Have you got the comments up? Can you do the goodbye shout outs? That'll
Yep.
be great. Before Brad does that, I'm just going to say special shout out. I know that Brad did it to our friend Warren. We look forward to him coming back and contributing to the show with his videos. That's going to be awesome. Please go and have a look at Brad's Instagram. I'm so excited. I want to hear what you guys in the chat have to say about Brad's balance tone, because I know that the people in this chat here know what they're talking about too, because we've been following each other. Soda, for example, and Sonia, been following us, for 3 or 4 years, and I know that they're Van Halen nuts, so I'll be keen to hear what they have to say. And I'm going to do a special shout out to the Rock Professor. Get back to work.
Good to see you, Rock Professor. Good to see you, Simon. And shouts out to Kurt, wherever you are and whatever time of the day it is to you. And thank you for that wonderful pedal. That was, forever grateful that I got to have a play with that pedal and work out. And it's been great to, connect with that pedal and that Music Man guitar as well. It's actually given me more want to pick that guitar up and play it. So more so than just having the guitar. So, because I don't know about you, Andrew, but you have a Music Man guitar, like an Axis, for example, and you're picturing balance tone in your head or Carnal Knowledge. Yeah, it's like goes hand in hand. It's got that thing. So actually being able to pull that tone has made me want to sit down and learn that stuff. Like I learned Seven Seal because of one of my favorite songs, and it's one of Andrew's. And I thought, well, we spoke about that. Kurt's request. He said, "Oh, you should put a little video up if you're playing Seven Seal." So I went, all right. I went and learned it, and there you go. But that's the one thing. So thank you, Kurt, because that's I've connected with that Music Man guitar, but it's like putting your favorite two condiments in a meal to make it set it off, like a bit of chili and a bit of black pepper, and it brings out all the flavor, or a bit of lemon and a bit of chili, and all of a sudden the flavor, everything comes out. That's what that pedal does. It's amazing. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm just looking at a few comments here that are coming through. That's funny. All my marriages were processes of elimination. Will, thanks, Will. We got, so look, thank you guys for everyone in the chat. Are we going to go through and say goodbye to everyone now? I think so. Will, thank you for your comments. Craven Soda, thank you so much. Gussie Wells, Sonia, great to see you, Sonia. Just scrolling backwards. John, I said hello to you, John. Thank you again for sticking around and joining us on a Friday afternoon. Did I say Gussie Wells? Thank you. We've got here going backwards. It's always hard to go backwards with this for some reason for me. I don't know about you guys. Cool Music Tech. Thank you for joining us and your wonderful comments. He agrees that Balance and 5150 were great. So we can't argue with that, mate. We can't argue with that at all. So going backwards. So Simon, again, Rock Professor, thank you. Ellen Vorishin, my mum. Just double checking. I think I said hello to everyone else. Pride of Gothenburg, thank you very much. Another Lenny Kravitz head. He loves Lenny Kravitz, but he loves all the music we do on the British Electric Blues show. So thank you for joining us. And we love Lenny Kravitz on here. We love Lenny Kravitz on here. And if I've missed anyone, I apologize, but thank you so much for joining us. Derek Clacton. We know that's Eric Clapton. So thanks for joining us. Just double checking. I think I've covered everyone, Simon. Yeah, I've said Simon. I think I've covered everyone, Andrew. So at this point, thank you for everyone joining us. If I've missed you, I apologize, but we do really appreciate you joining us, and I'll go back and have a look at all the comments later. A big thing, if you're watching this back and you're not joining us right now, please subscribe. We want to get to we've got a little giveaway coming up at 700 subscribers. We're only about 20 off. So the minute that we get to 700, we're going to give some details of that this week. A little giveaway we're doing at 700 subscribers. Our goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I think we can do it, but we need you guys to help us. So please help share the channel. And I feel like I'm a bit of a salesperson right now, but it's more, you guys appreciate what we're doing and we appreciate doing it. So just help us grow, and we'll continue doing it. And we enjoy doing it. So thank you for the love, guys. See ya.